All right, good afternoon and welcome back. So this afternoon we're going to be doing some wet sanding and polishing on Chug here. I wasn't going to do anything to it initially when I first got it, but there's just a couple spots. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm only going to focus on this area right here where it's kind of raised up, and I'm not worried about if I take any of the finish off either. I just want to kind of level this spot out right here. And see if we can zoom in a little more and you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's a little lumpy right there. So I want to try to level that out a little bit and polish it. And then down here we got the same thing going on right behind the tailpiece. It's like blistering or whatever. I just want to try to level that out a little bit and then polish it. So I'm only going to do just a couple spots on it. I'm not going to do the whole entire guitar because the rest of it's in really good shape. I mean, I'll polish it, but I'm not going to wet sand the whole thing like I did Kevin's acoustic. If you guys want to watch that, I did a full wet sand on that guitar. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started on that and get my camera readjusted here. Get the legs out. There we go. I'll bring you guys down here in a second. Let me get this set up so we can make a mess. It's gonna splatter everywhere probably. Let's protect. This is another reason I want to get that rack made for all these cases. That way I don't have to worry about splattering around and all that. All right. Water. Bucket. Yeah, tell them. There's our fancy new little sponge. Peel a sticker off of it. Little 3M wet dry sponge. I was feeling this. I don't know if I want to start with 800 or not. I think I might go right to 1,000. Yeah, because that's still a little rough. So I'm going to go right to the 1,000 grit, and then we'll come back to 2,000. Yep. All right. Cut that down. Yeah, I'll just fold it over. All right, so let's get this soaking. As soon as we get this wet sanded and polished out, we can finally put it back together. I got all the parts there. I was going to do it the other day, but we got snowed in. And I can't clean it with all the hardware and knobs and everything in it. So it delayed me for a few days, but not a big deal. But I wanted to get at least the top done before I put it together. Because the more I thought about it, it just kind of bothered me. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get it a little bit. Yeah, that already feels better. Yeah. Feels pretty good. Let me go down here and do this other spot. Yeah, it feels pretty good too. And again, I'm not trying to make it look perfect. I'm just trying to make it feel smooth again. Put a little bit of shine to it. All right, I'm gonna wipe that off. Let's see how it come out there. This isn't going to be as exciting as the acoustic because I'm not doing a whole bunch to it as far as wet sanding and polishing. I think that's gonna, yeah, so see, it's nice and level now. You don't see those blisters sticking up. Actually, right here you can actually see the circles where they were. That'll come out with the 2000 grit. Still a little bit of staining here behind the tailpiece, so that's okay. Again, we're not trying to make it perfect, just trying to level it. I got a little more to do in here. You can still feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off the fretboard so I can get in there a little closer and get aggressive and not mess up the ends of the frets or the fretboard itself. Alright, let's try that again. I'll do the 1000 one more time. Pushed a little harder that time. I'm going to go to the 2000 grit. And then we're going to buff it out. Again, I wasn't trying to take all the scratches and stuff like that out of this build. Those two dull spots, all I did is wanted to level them out a little bit and see if they'll shine up. I'm not sure how much clear coat got wore off of it from him playing it. We're about to find out. I see the white in the water on the pad there, so that's a good sign it's still clear coat. So in this one I'm going to work it out away from the spot that I did to kind of blend it. And I'll do the same thing down there. We actually used the palm sander to wet sand Kevin's guitar. We did complete restoration on that paint job. Alright, I think that's gonna do it. Let my paper soak there. Get to that later. Alright, let's get this dried off and polish it and see how it turns out. I actually went and bought all this stuff yesterday and I got back home and I'm like, dang it. Forgot polish. Well, didn't forget to polish, I forgot compound. Luckily, I was digging around in the garage and I found some. So we're just gonna go ahead and get it done today. Hopefully, tonight or tomorrow I'll be able to get this thing put together, or mostly put together. That's why I wanted that mat right there. Just wipe it right off. No worries. I can lay the other mat out when I'm not doing this kind of stuff. All right. Let's make sure this is dry. We'll get to polishing. So there we are. All those like blisters pretty much gone and level now. Yeah, tell them. And right here, let's see. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. It's not as near as bad as it was. I mean, you can barely feel anything. Like I said, I didn't want to keep going until there was like no finish or nothing. I just wanted to level that out. So, let's see what happens now if we polish it. I really should take the tuners off of the headstock so I can do a good job. Where did I? Here they are. Do a good job on the polishing. So we got two different kinds of pads here, and this one here is your cutting pad. It's a wool pad right here. That's what we're going to use for the compound on it. And again, we're just going to use little DeWalt. I have the buffer version of this too, and it works out really well, but this works even better because it's smaller and you don't have all that machine to try to hold. And you can just throw the little 2-amp batteries on it. So let me go ahead and get the compound here. So this is called Restore It from Malco. Malco is a chemical company that come around like your Snap-on truck does with tools. And it is pretty thick stuff. This is like a fine to medium cut. It's probably like a 5 to 7, I would say, in grip. And I just keep a rivet in there for a cap. This is like a ketchup bottle. You can buy these from Malco too, right? There's the company. So that's what that is, in case you guys are wondering. And I like to tap it in a little bit because what ends up happening is you turn this thing on and it flings everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and put another piece of tape on this too so I don't get wax all on the fretboard. It only takes a second. If I don't do it, I'll be telling you guys I didn't practice my 6 P's. And if you don't know what the 6 P's are, that's prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So practice your 6 P's and everything should go fine. Don't be scared to wet sand anything or polish it. The worst thing happens, you mess it up, right? All right, here we go. We're gonna start down on like 3. So that's the cutting pad. Let me go ahead and wipe this off and we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like so far. And you definitely have wore through the clear coat there. And I think that's why it looked like touch-up paint. My dad and I were debating whether he put touch-up paint there or not. All right, so we have just did a very light sanding. And you can see, I haven't worked down in here yet, but you can see that has definitely did a whole lot to get rid of them blisters. And again, it didn't get rid of all the imperfections, but it made it feel smooth, got rid of the blisters. It brought some shine back to it. And then the same up here. I'll bring the camera down here and probably get a better angle at this. Let's see, I gotta get used to this rocker which way it goes here. Whoop, wrong way. All right. I'll zoom in on here. So again, it didn't get rid of all the imperfections 100%. If I rock it a little bit, you can see. But you got to really look for them. They're pretty close to the fretboard. It's probably from his pick, fingernails. But yeah, other than that, I got all the blisters. The blisters are off of it now. And you're starting to be able to see the finish checking in it. It was just kind of dying into the dull spots. So let's keep going on it. We're not done. And I could have wet sanded a little more. I'll polish down in here. If that don't come out any better, I'll wet sand down in there just a little bit, just to blend it. All right, so let's hit this with a little more of the compound. Work down in here. And just a smidgen right there again. So you see how that stuff flings everywhere? It's exactly why I wanted a mat with no threads in it. All you gotta do is use a little bit of spray away glass cleaner, squirt it on there, wipe it off with a towel, and it's all done. So let's go ahead and get this with the second pad now. Do a final polish on it. The next one's gonna be a foam pad. And you can use these for glazing and wax. We're gonna use it for wax in this instant here. Get this compound wiped off. So what I'll probably do is I'm just gonna flip it over and kind of repeat this process on the back, only no wet sanding. And we'll see what happens. So that's it. We don't even have the final polish on it yet, so let me do that. Then we're gonna go ahead and pause the video and I'll finish it out and we'll take another look at it. Crazy bird. Yeah, I hear you. Might as well turn this down a little bit. We'll start on 4. I've got some platinum spray wax that I'll put on it when I'm completely done as the final coat. Alright. So there we are. Now I could have spent a ton of time on this like I did on Kevin's acoustic guitar. If you guys watched that, I spent a lot of time on that to make it perfect, to get every imperfection that I could out of it. Stop it! Why are you doing that? That's ridiculous. I'm trying to talk. You don't ever do that kind of crap. Stop it. So here we go. I'm sorry about that, you guys. So there is, up there next to the fretboard, all the blisters are gone. Nice and smooth. It's got some shine to it again. Actually, the whole top does. But again, I wasn't going for complete perfection and getting all the imperfections out of it. I just wanted to work on those two dull spots in the raised blistered area, and it turned out really good. So there we go, one more look. And I'll go ahead and get this finished up, and then we'll take a look at it and put it together. So until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm sorry about the bird.